On a rainy night in Lexington, why don't you come on inside Rupp Arena at Central Bank Center, where number 12 Kentucky welcomes the Greyhounds of Loyola, Maryland, out of the Patriot League. Good evening, everybody. I'm Darren Hedrick, excited to be with you alongside Cameron Mills. And Cameron, Kentucky's coming off a tough loss to Michigan State in the Champions Classic. They're trying to answer some questions tonight as they take on the Greyhounds. They got a new starter in the lineup as well, Malachi Moreno. Where does it start for Malachi earning that spot?
Well, number one, being 7'1" doesn't hurt. Being wide body doesn't hurt. But doing a lot more, I think, early in the season than maybe Coach Mark Pope expected him to his freshman season.
Kentucky's also dealing with injuries. They're going to be without three key players. Of course, Jaden Quaintance hasn't played this year. Jalen Lowe, he's day-to-day with the injury, won't play tonight. But also now, Dioubate out with an ankle injury.
So Malachi getting his first start, Ken Williams getting his first start. Needing to completely rebound Kentucky is from that Michigan State game up in Madison Square Garden. They've got to answer some questions.
In terms of the Greyhounds, there you see him on the screen, Jacob Theodosio. He's their leading scorer. He's scored 20 or more in 3 straight.
And done it without the three-point shot. He might be one of their best three-point shooters. So far, not showing it. 3 of 25, 12% from behind the arc.
Cats win the tap. Let's play some basketball. Aberdeen running point for the Wildcats early on. Oweh.
Great start for Kentucky. That's what they want. Oweh cutting and slashing to the basket.
And you see the starting lineups. The Greyhounds. Kentucky in that man-to-man. Stemke, and he gets the Greyhounds on the board.
That's what they want to do. Now, again, this team plays better in the second half, the first half. But Kentucky does not want them starting hot. Colin Chandler going under that screen that time. They want to go over those.
Chandler rejected. It'll stay with Kentucky.
It's been a big thing, defensive three-point shooting for Kentucky. Over the screens on the shooters, not under. You don't want to let them have that fade and give them the open three-point shot.
Cam Williams goes to work on the inbounds. There's Moreno. Cross court to Oweh. Here's his cut and drive. And what a nice roll off the fingertips.
Great start for Oweh. Two for two, both times slashing the basket. One without the ball, one with the ball.
Braden Speed, aptly named. And here's Theodosio. Well, Kentucky, all kinds of pressure, and they force the turnover, Cameron.
A little more activity than we've seen from Kentucky earlier this season. That's exactly what Coach Mark Pope wants, just energy from all the guys.
There you see Josh Leffler, the head coach of Loyola, Maryland, in his second season. Had a terrific run at Division III John Hopkins, where he won 81% of his games. And Moreno with a two-hand finish.
This isn't even the first time Coach Leffler or Coach Pope have faced each other. Leffler's been an assistant coach at Cincinnati, went down to BYU.
The extra pass, can't get it to fall. Aberdeen with the board. Kentucky flying in transition. Oweh physical in the lane and gets it to stay down.
It's almost like he's had a couple talkings to recently. Get in the lane. That is your bread and butter. When the threes come, but get in the lane.
Oweh 6 early points, 3 for 3. Oh, going for the steal there. That leaves Theodosio open. Can't get it to fall.
It's a great help by Malachi Moreno that time.
So good in transition. Chandler.
Kind of surprised Chandler didn't hammer that one. A little finger roll.
The crowd was waiting on it. Sertotus. And Chandler knocks it out of bounds. Boy, Kentucky has provided tremendous pressure early on, a lot of energy, and there's Coach Mark Pope. You know he's got to like the way they've started.
Like the way they've started, but this is what Kentucky has to do. They've handled teams that they're supposed to beat. It's the better teams that they've struggled with. They've got to come out like this when they're playing a Michigan State or a Louisville or a Georgetown as they did in exhibition season.
What do you want to see out of Kentucky in tonight's game?
I mean, so far I think we're seeing it. I think we're seeing the energy. I think we're seeing it on both ends. I think Oweh streaking to the basket all day, every day if I'm a Kentucky Wildcat. That's what you want.
They're contesting everything right now. Williams on the drive. Nice roll.
And that's one Cam Williams would have shot, could have shot, but got to the lane, so he's even taking a page out of Oweh's notebook.
Well, how about that?
Mark Pope talks all the time about the upside for Cam Williams. Nice little pump fake. Again, not even much of a pump fake for Cam Williams. Just kind of had the idea of a shot and got the defender up on his tiptoes and went around him.
Aberdeen and Moreno go out for Kentucky. Brandon Garrison checks in along with Jasper Johnson. Troy Cicero Jr. is in for the Greyhounds.
Kentucky with those active hands, making that offense for Loyola spread out.
Chandler poked that one into the Kentucky bench.
Loyola now needs to know the clock. 4.2 seconds. The shot. Kentucky, of course, better know it too.
Well, champ, Kentucky's got the size and length advantage, but they've got hands in the passing lanes everywhere, and they're contesting shots. Speed trying to get loose, and somehow
of course
got that one to go.
Always the ones with the buzzer sounding. Those are the ones you practice in your backdoor goal.
Nice
backyard goal, I should say.
Nice shot by the Phoenix native. Garrison in the lane. Got that left-hander to go through contact.
I think Kentucky's got about 12 of their 14 points, maybe all 14 in the paint.
Yeah, 14 points in the paint, none for the Greyhounds. There's a big three. Cicero connects from deep.
Watch Kentucky on defense. A lot of hands in the passing lanes, as you mentioned, Darren. Just active hands overall.
There's the lob. Chandler got it.
53% from behind the arc so far this year. Maybe a little bit better now.
Well, we know during shoot-around that the Greyhounds were working on that lob from Kentucky as Oweh comes up with a cross-court steal. But that lob, when you got to pick your poison. Here's Chandler open in transition. Bottom!
That's what Coach Leffler, again, worked on in walkthrough or shoot-around early. Like, that's the guy you cannot leave. They didn't want him giving any room to Colin Chandler, and that's 2 in a row, wide open.
Here's the freshman Emmett Adair, who had a nice game in his collegiate debut. Missed that one though, and Kentucky running again. Oweh baseline reverse, can't get it to stick. Kentucky signals they might want to check for goaltending on that one.
Maybe that one. I don't think they can review and get a foul, but I think he grabbed on his shoulder too.
Cicero puts it up off the window. There's a feed to Chandler, and it's going to go on the other side to Loyola, Maryland. Colin Chandler came into tonight hitting 53%. He's already connected twice from deep.
Great pass by Cam Williams, straight out to him. Didn't even hold on to it. Caught it and released it.
We're back inside Rupp Arena, where it's time to meet the third member of our team tonight, Maggie Davis.
Hey guys, Malachi Moreno catching his breath after his first collegiate start. Mark Pope says he appreciates Malachi's steadiness, but the person who really deserves the credit for all of that steady is Malachi's mom, Sarah. She's the one responsible for the pregame lasagna tradition. For away games, she packs it for him so he can eat it on the airplane. For home games, well, he makes the short drive home to just down the road here in central Kentucky so they can share it together. It's a tradition that started his sophomore year of high school, trying to do a little carbo loading before a big rivalry game. Well, it went pretty well, a triple-double for Malachi the next day. They've never quit since. That's the good news. The bad news, I don't have a recipe yet. Still working on that, guys.
Maggie, thanks. Why mess with a good thing, especially if it's a tasty lasagna, right, Cam?
Cats looked in his zone right now. Opened up and looked three-quarter court 1-2-2.
They've got sophomore Trent Noah out there too. Little confusion, it looks like, by the Greyhounds. Here's Adair, puts it up. Garrison saves it in. Nice play. Good hustle. Aberdeen to Williams. He'll put it up. The rebound to Theodosio.
Like the way Cam Williams has come out and just kind of asserted himself with his first start here at Kentucky as well.
Kentucky now 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. The Greyhounds have already attempted 6. They've made 2. Boy, that zone really pushing them out. Ooh, Cam Williams got a piece of that one.
You know, when you go into a zone, it is so easy to just get lazy with your hands. We talked about Kentucky's busy hands early in this game. They switched to this zone now, and yet those hands are still active, causing turnovers. Kentucky not really turned a lot of teams over this year. Already, I think, 2 steals and I believe 3 turnovers for Loyola.
Andrea Jelavic is into the game for Kentucky. And, you know, with all these injuries to the roster, Champ, it's an opportunity for these guys to get some time out there on the court as Kentucky ties them up. Theodosio on the drive. Trent Noah was there waiting.
I think that's the key, too. You got to find the silver lining of not having all the talent available to you. Well, you take the talent you do have, you get them valuable minutes and opportunities early in the season. Pays off for you later in the season.
An early candidate for the all-name team. Loyola's Tyson Commander into the ball game. Theodosio in the lane. He didn't get that one off in time.
Cats defense, they have just played. They've looked like a different team than they did against Michigan State. No, the competition is not quite the same, but it's more about what the Cats are doing right now as far as are they making the adjustments they need to.
It looks like Loyola's gone into his zone now. Aberdeen. In the corner, Johnson. No doubt. Set the feed, he's open.
If you remember from shoot around, Coach Leffler said that when they go to their 3, that's what they call their 1-3-1, or it's either a staggered 2-3 matchup. Those corners are what they've got to be careful of.
Adair skies for the rebound. Here's Commander straight away, and he commands that shot.
You had to.
Aberdeen crosses half court. 12:15 to go in the first half.
Loyola now looking more like they're sitting back in that 2-3.
Well, and one thing that Coach Leffler told us after their shoot around as Jelavic misses that jumper at the free throw line, he wants to force Kentucky to think. He wants their players to think and their coaches to coach, and that we're going to see them switch defenses all night in that effort. Have to make adjustments. Commander. Adair got the putback.
And Brandon Garrison may have gotten a hand on that ball as it went up from Commander.
Nice lob and the finish by Garrison.
Garrison wanted that pass about 5 seconds earlier. Jasper finally found him.
Theodosio straight away. Nearly got tied up in the double team. Adair puts it up from straight away. Rims off and Jelavic with the rebound. Aberdeen with his eyes up. Coming down the lane, out to Jelavic for the 3. Bottom.
So many players Kentucky needs to get going. Jelavic won, Jasper won, Cam won.
Cats are now 4 of 5 from distance, shooting 71% in the first half overall. Theodosio gets around Aberdeen, down the lane, tough finish over Garrison.
Theodosio with his first 2 points. Cats have held him to 0 up until that moment.
Here's Jelavic backing down, muscling up, got it.
Tough little shot, that little floater about 6-7 feet away.
He had the height advantage, but he still had to get where he wanted to be on the floor.
One thing the bigs from Kentucky are always working on, those dribble down moves, not just getting the ball in the post, but getting yourself down to the post with the ball.
Theodosio with it. Kentucky really forces him to give it up anytime he has it. It's either a quick shot or he has to give it up. Tried that backdoor cut. Kentucky was there, but it's saved in bounds. 1 on the shot clock. Cicero rims off. It's a live ball, and it'll be Kentucky on the end line. Kentucky with a 30-15 lead, 9:45 left. Loyola, Maryland out of Baltimore. The Greyhounds from the Patriot League taking on the Wildcats tonight here at Rupp Arena. Josh Loeffler in his second year as the head coach after a stint as an assistant at Cincinnati. He returns top 4 scorers from last year, where in his first year they improved the win total by 5 from the previous year. They're 2-4 to start this season, a lot of road games, but when we talk to Coach Loeffler, it's not one of the cases, Cameron, where they're on the road for weeks at a time, just going from one city to another. These are strategically placed games, and there you see some international flavor to this Loyola roster.
I think one thing Coach Loeffler said is that, right, it's not necessarily going big school to big school to big school when they're on the road early in the season, but he did say he wanted all of his players to play in an arena that had championship banners. Yeah. So every season he wants them to see what that's like, regardless of the size of the school, the expectations, because every coach goes into the season and says, you know what, we're setting the same goal as the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the Kansases, the North Carolinas.
And look, the international flavor to his roster is part of the recruiting plan that he has in place, because Loyola, one of those schools in this modern era where you've got to get a little creative in your roster construction and building your program.
He also talked about today that they can't go into knowing or thinking that every good player they recruit as a freshman, they'll lose. They got to go in and get the best players they can get and do their best to hang on.
Oweh can't get it to fall. Stimke with a rebound for the Greyhounds. Loyola was picked to finish 6th out of the 10-team Patriot League in the preseason. Navy was picked to win the league. Imanalo, beg your pardon. Here's Stimke for the 3-ball.
3-point basket for Stimke.
Johnson with the quick trigger, can't get it to fall. And the rebound to Speed up the near side. Speed against Aberdeen.
There you kind of feel that lull in the game right now, right? The activity, it's just that everyone's kind of settling in. This is where Kentucky has got to keep active.
That one won't stay down for Stimke. Kentucky with the board. Always got Moreno. He thought about the 3.
He can shoot the 3.
Johnson in the lane from the logo. Won't finish, and the rebound won by Speed. Out to Stimke for the quick trigger, and that's too strong.
Good challenge by Oweh that time, but Stimke's hot from the 3.
Oweh from the corner, got it. Oweh up to 9 points.
It makes it, basketball is just an easy game. You get those easy baskets early in the game, all of a sudden those threes that you want start falling.
They find Theodosio. Almost a triple team in the lane. Moreno stayed with him. It'll be Kentucky ball. Otega Oweh, 9 points in the game so far on 4 of 6 shooting, and why not take the triple in transition? Head coach Mark Pope has made no secret that he wants his team to shoot the 3-ball. In fact, they come into tonight averaging over 9 threes a game on nearly 29 attempts. He wants them to shoot about 35 attempts per game. This Wildcat team already 5 of 8 against Loyola, Maryland. As we look at the balanced scoring for Kentucky entering tonight, they've had 5 different leading scorers in 5 games. And tonight they've got 9 from Oweh, 8 from Chandler, and 7 of the 9 who have played have all scored at least 2 points or more. Kentucky's trying to add to that total right here. When you talk about the 3 points, Cameron, I know Kentucky's wanting to improve in that area, and tonight could be a night that starts towards that as Chandler gets loose off the hesitation but can't get it to fall.
Great rebound by Moreno, though, giving Kentucky another chance.
Aberdeen, little right-hander.
Second chance points can just be devastating. So far in this game, that ties it. Loyola was winning this battle of the boards on the offensive glass.
Cats have their largest lead of the first half at 17. Commander comes left to Speed. They'll hand it off to Stemke. Springer down the right, and Moreno stuffs the shot.
It's one of those difference makers for Moreno. 7'1", stand there and just volleyball the ball down. Straight up, just got it with his wrist. See if Loyola can get, he's in the game. Theodosia's not going so far in this game. Stemke
Speed
is.
with an air ball.
That's second, third time that that shot clock has been run down.
I was just about to say one thing you have to like about Kentucky's defense. They're guarding everything. They're forcing tough shots. But the biggest thing that we're seeing tonight against the Greyhounds, they're finishing the possessions. They're getting turnovers or rebounds.
Yeah, exactly. They're not letting that ball just kind of, it's loose ball. Let's see who gets it. And we're going to, Kentucky's going to go get it.
And that's something you want to see. And we talked to Coach Pope pregame. He was doing his interview with Tom Leach as Moreno gets the nice feed in the layup. And he talked about he got to go back and watch the film of the Michigan State game and the 42-28 rebounding margin there. And he said, hey, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was immediately following the game.
It's one of those things that you always hear coaches say. You never hear them say it after the game. You hear them say it maybe a couple days after. We're never as bad as we think we are. We're never as good as we think we are. And that's always the case for any team.
And basically his message was the difference in that rebounding margin are things we can clean up, or it was just bad luck, like balls tapped out of bounds.
Yeah, and again, I think the biggest shock, though, was Kentucky had won the battle of the boards every game this year except that one, and then to lose by 10, I think it was just kind of a sticker shock.
Cicero with the rebound there. Theodosia tried to throw it out. Oweh said nope.
Theodosia didn't think he was going to get the layup over Moreno. Throws it back out, and there's Oweh with his hands clasping shut, if I can speak. And again, the deflection. Those deflections add up to turnovers.
Here's Theodosia trying to curl. Aberdeen wouldn't even let him do that. Cicero to Adair. Adair forces up the right-hander, contested, and Oweh with a rebound.
Again, Kentucky off the ball hands too, not just on the balls causing deflections, but guys coming off the ball, staying with their man, but coming off the ball just to add a little more pressure.
The lob to Moreno, but he couldn't quite grip it firmly enough to finish. Just off his fingertips, and still almost got it to tap in. And then on the other side, the Greyhounds turn it over. One thing that Coach Loeffler wanted to tell his team is they're going to face a Kentucky team that's determined tonight and focused, but also they're going to be physical, and there's nobody in this building to help bail you out when things get physical.
I think at one point, talking specifically about Moreno, is that, look, when you switch, you're going to the person switching on to you is going to be 7'1" freshman. I mean, there are not going to be any easy buckets tonight. And to his credit, to his point, Kentucky has showed up to play.
Garrison and Williams are in the ball game for the Cats. Sertotis back in there for the Greyhounds. There's a nice bounce pass. Chandler. One extra pass, and Oweh couldn't get the. Cam Williams nearly got the finish. Kentucky had two great looks, and neither would go down. Adair double teamed on his drive, ball loose. And they'll halt play and give it to Kentucky on the arrow.
Love the Kentucky bench right now, too. Just the energy you see from all the players. Doesn't matter what their role is. Player hits the floor, gets that loose ball, gets a tie-up, gets a possession. That bench erupts. It's the energy. It's what's been frustrating for Coach Mark Pope is you see the other games, the games that they've lost, the Louisville game, the Michigan State game. You haven't seen this kind of energy that we're seeing tonight.
Garrison sees a double team now. The defense shifts. Garrison still couldn't get that right-hander to finish. Well, I love Cam Williams just getting a hand on the dribble right there to stop the drive. Nearly got a turnover. Commander straight away. In and out.
Just about every possession. Loyola.
Chandler's open. Got it.
When you're hot, you're hot. Chandler's been hot from the beginning of this season.
That's his third three-pointer of the first half. He's got 11 points, shooting 50% overall. That was nearly a nice behind-the-back pass, but he overshot his man. Aberdeen on the run-out, lays it in.
Barely got that ball to roll over the back of the rim.
You can hear Rupp Arena holding its breath for the slam, and then Aberdeen just lays it in calmly. Dioubate, can't get it.
Just can't get one to fall.
Garrison with the lob, and a great catch down to our left, but it was out of bounds. Boy, Kentucky rocking and rolling. It's great hands.
I went right to him.
From deep this year, he's got 3 more tonight. How about 11 points in 10 minutes? For more on him, let's rejoin Maggie Davis.
Hey guys, yeah, look at those 3-point numbers right now. 35% from deep last season, 52% this season, 75% tonight. I had the chance to talk with him about that this week. What's made the difference for him? He says confidence is the key, and most importantly, you cannot buy it. You have to earn it, and you can only do that by working for it. Not only trusting yourself, but trusting the ball. Simple as that.
Well, he's certainly trusting his shot tonight. 3 of 4 from long range, 4 of 8 overall, and like we were talking about, 11 points in 10 minutes. That's getting it done.
And on the season now, has upped his 3-point percentage to 55%.
How about that?
Kentucky now 1-3-1.
With Jasper Johnson at the top. They come to Dioubate. He'll put it up off the back iron. Williams with a strong rebound, ripped it out of there. Chandler. Out to Williams. Garrison backing down against Sertotis. Left that one short, but grabbed his own miss, and this time he got fouled.
Job of Garrison to stay with the ball, too, not just put it up, back away. Stay with it until it goes in and you get fouled.
How about that? First foul of the ball game comes with 2:35 to go in the first half.
And it's been an active defensive game, to be fair. There have been some bumps and bruises along the way. I feel like both sides could have a word with the officials going into the locker room.
Garrison was 5 out of 6 at the line. He misses the first one.
It's important for Kentucky's big. Saw Malachi Moreno spend about 20 minutes earlier today just on his own, working on his foul shots. Kentucky's big has got to hit from the stripe.
Nice volley by Cam Williams. Kentucky will try again. No good. Speed with the rebound. Greyhounds are running. Dioubate against Garrison in the lane. Forces it up, got it, and a whistle off the shot on the floor. Get another look here and see what happened away from the shot by Dioubate. Cam Williams got tied up, and it's on Williams. Trent Noah is going to come in along with Malachi Moreno.
Tough call right there. And again, don't know if you saw on that replay, but again, it looked like Brandon Garrison got his hands on the ball from Dioubate when he did that little finger roll.
That breaks a 12-0 run by Kentucky.
And could be a big double possession here for Loyola.
Commander gets the inbounds, and we got a push foul on Johnson. So we went over nearly 18 minutes without a foul. We get 3 in the span of about 20 seconds. Speed. Tried to dump it inside. Moreno deflects it.
His long arms to Moreno.
Johnson to the logo. Looking for somebody. Finds Noah left wing. Noah into the lane trying to draw the defense. So how about this? You got Johnson running some point here. Straight away. Bottom.
Johnson, other than Colin Chandler, second leading three-point shooter on the team coming into this game.
Dioubate calling out the play.
When Kentucky's hitting on all cylinders.
Stimke from deep and couldn't get it, but Commander's there for the rebound. Left corner Speed won't fall, and we got a foul on the Greyhounds.
When Kentucky's shooting on all cylinders, there's really not anybody. We could look at the stats now and say, okay, there's certain guys aren't shooting well. Cam Williams hasn't started shooting well. Trent Noah's kind of day-to-day. But there's not anyone that you can really honestly play and go under on the screens. You've got to go over. Jasper Johnson that time, big screen set by Malachi Moreno. Defender went under, he just pulled the three.
Foul, by the way, was on a dare. Noah looking against this zone, and Johnson took his eye off the ball, and it'll be Greyhounds basketball. It's only the second turnover on Kentucky in the first half. We've got a minute 10 left.
Mentioned Coach Leffler throwing a lot of defenses at Kentucky. Both throwing a lot of defenses at Loyola.
It's like Oweh got his feet tangled up with Theodosia.
Or there was a wet spot on the floor.
Could be. But the foul goes on Oweh.
Theodosia still 15 minutes played. Does have 3 rebounds.
But just 4 points.
Just 4 points. Still not hitting those threes the way he can.
Loyola's 4 of 16 from beyond the arc. They've attempted 28 shots total. Theodosio, Moreno's saying, get that out of here. It'll stay with the Greyhounds under the basket.
Theodosio accounting for Oweh, not accounting for the 7'1" freshman coming in.
What a safety net down low that is.
It's not just a height either. I mean, there is a skill to being a shot blocker. It's one of the things I think that Coach Pope was impressed about with Malachi Moreno in high school is that his footwork on defense, his footwork on offense, and not just moving, guarding the ball, not just low post moves, but getting your feet set, coming off the ball to block those shots just like he did there.
Drawing his first career start tonight. He had that double-double against Valparaiso. 18 points and 10 rebounds. And everybody I've talked to, from you, Jack Givens, Coach Mark Pope, they've been pleased with how hard this young man works in practice, and you can see it in games. And as Jack Givens says, outside of maybe the first few minutes against Michigan State in Madison Square Garden, he plays fearless. He's the aggressor a lot of times.
I think the most impressive thing, I think coaches would agree, what Malachi did at Madison Square Garden, missed his first foul shot, then made his next 7, right. I believe, 1 of 8, and he had struggled from the foul line today, or foul line this year.
He got a hand on that one. Here's Williams on the run out.
Smart decisions. See, Kentucky making a lot of smart decisions. Again, you mentioned earlier, not a lot of turnovers, only 2 so far for a team that has been averaging right around 12 or 13 per game. They're taking care of the ball tonight.
And going back to Moreno and the point at Madison Square Garden, once he settled in, I mean, that was just the part, and that every young player will go through that at some point, especially in an arena like that, in a setting like that. But
grew up playing basketball. I don't care where you grew up playing basketball. You know the initials, MSG.
Your speed. Theodosio, 3, 2, and let's see, was it out of bounds before the shot clock? Yep, they're going to give it to Kentucky with 3.4 seconds left in the half.
See what Kentucky does here. Up, going to get a timeout.
Yep.
Looks like Coach Pope going to set something up.
Well, we know that in Kentucky's practice, they like to use those drills in practice where you got to get up the floor in transition in 4 seconds or less. Right, here's your opportunity.
And I think one of these, with about 3.4 seconds left to go, typically this is where a team runs their home run play. And their home run play can be one of various plays, but it's not necessarily to dribble the ball up, though they've got plenty of time to do that, but they've thrown the ball half court, getting that one guy going typically from the off corner into the center of the court, get it, and then turn and look where you just came from to someone streaking down the lane.
Coming up at halftime, Maggie Davis will catch up with Mark Pope. 3.4 seconds left. And Kentucky's made 7 threes on 13 attempts for nearly 54%. Let's see what kind of play Coach Pope draws up here. It'll be Noah to inbound it. You've got Cam Williams and Malachi Moreno back. And Williams off the switch, gets it at half court. 2 seconds. Williams. Oh, it banks in!
Home run play.
Cam Williams beats the buzzer.
Had a screen from Moreno down on the low post. Cam Williams comes all the way up to center court, gets the ball, only has to dribble half court, not even half, 20 feet, banks it in.
And Maggie Davis is standing by with Coach Pope.
Coach, your team has been looking for its three-point shot. Has it found it tonight?
A little bit, but it's more the shots that we're creating for each other. We can be really good when we're aggressive and physical to make plays for our teammates. It's not complicated. Our guys have done a nice job adopting that for most of the night.
Gave up just 20 in the first half. What are you seeing defensively?
I like this. We gave up a couple offensive rebounds when our second unit was filtering in, and then we gave up a couple really unfortunate, just kind of stare down threes, which we need to fix. Otherwise, I thought it was a really solid effort. I thought we were pretty good in transition defense. I thought Ortega gave us probably his best presence so far on the ball. So there were some good things.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Maggie. Kentucky with a 50-20 lead over the Greyhounds. The Wildcats finished the half on a 20-2 run to lead by 30 at the break. Cats put up 50 in the first half against the Greyhounds here at Rupp Arena. We get ready for the second half now. The Wildcats shooting 57% in that first 20 minutes. And there you see some of the highlighted stats. Kentucky 14 assists on 21 makes, only 2 turnovers in that first half for Kentucky, 11 by Loyola. And Cameron, when you look at points off turnovers, 20-0 in favor of the Wildcats.
Again, another emphasis for Kentucky going into this game. Activity with the hands, getting to deflections, deflections to turnovers, turnovers to easy buckets.
Wildcats also were 8 of 14 from three-point range, 21 of 37 overall. They out-rebounded Loyola Maryland 21-17. The offensive rebounds 5 apiece.
Yeah, and you look at that rebounding stat and you think, well, look at the score, look at that, and you think, all right, what's off here? Well, Kentucky's not given too many rebounding opportunities, shooting almost 60% from the field.
The balanced scoring you and I talked about, of the 9 players that have seen the floor for Kentucky, 8 of them have scored, led by Chandler's 11.
Yep, and we've also got, just going down again, team comparison stats. Talked about the points off turnovers. 21-0 in fast break points in favor of Kentucky, and 8-0 in steals. 3-3 in blocks, somewhat surprising considering the height disadvantage that Loyola is under right now.
Malachi Moreno's had a few of those rejections in the first half. So getting ready for the second half, where the Greyhounds have actually been stronger in the second half. And speaking of the Greyhounds, Maggie Davis just caught up with Greyhounds head coach Josh Leffler. Maggie, what'd you find out?
The big message to this team at the half is transition defense. Their head coach saying, we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not getting back on D. And Theodosio specifically, guys, says he just needs to settle in and make something happen, because right now he is getting swarmed, was the word that was used.
Thank you very much, Maggie. Yeah, Theodosio was definitely a part of Kentucky's scouting report, and they held him to just 4 points on 2 of 8 shooting. Greyhounds will start the second half with the basketball. Here's Theodosio. He's swinging around the horn to Stemke. Stemke between the trees, can't finish it. Moreno with another rebound. Here comes Chandler the other way. The extra pass to Aberdeen in the corner. Kentucky will set up to Cam Williams. Oh. Not that time. He banked in that 3 to end the first half. Speed out to Theodosio.
Williams hasn't quite caught fire from the three-point line yet, but you mentioned it earlier. 5 rebounds in that first half, 7 points.
His first start as a Wildcat. Kentucky rejects another. Here's Aberdeen. Behind the back to Oweh driving, and an extra pass, though, stolen by Loyola.
That's what Coach Leffler wants right there. Theodosio getting back on D.
When you talk about Kentucky's transition game and how quickly they want to fly up the floor, Cameron, how hard is that to emulate in practice, especially for a club like the Greyhounds trying to, to imitate that speed?
Yeah, it's hard, because the goal for Kentucky is they want the ball up and in the offense in 4 seconds or 3 if possible, meaning we're not just dribbling the ball. You are getting it and flying up the court, and it is hard to emulate. You can't really do anything other than maybe set up some cheat drills where all of a sudden the ball's starting at half court and you just got to hustle back on D.
Theodosio at the free throw line. Here's Sertotis off the rim. They are forcing the Greyhounds into some tough shots.
They are, and the Greyhounds are settling for some tough shots, but
yeah.
You said it earlier, and I think we made a point of it earlier as well. This is a second-half team. Loyola, through 6 games this year, the Greyhounds' offense has been better during the second half of games, averaging 41 points to 34 in the first half, and shot 51% in the field after the break compared to 42 in the earlier.
So there you see it on the screen, the comparisons now. Obviously, the Greyhounds have a mountain to climb down 30 with just under 18 minutes left in the game, but it's something to watch. You know, both coaches are going to be looking at that as you make a microcosm and shrink the game to 20 minutes.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the thing. Both coaches will do that.
Dioubate slips, and they call him for the travel.
Dioubate is getting frustrated. I mean, everywhere he is getting swarmed, as Maggie said. They're just putting a lot of pressure on him. Because, again, it's part of the scouting report. That is the guy that has had averaging 17 points coming in and still has left a lot on the court as far as his three-point shot, and you just assume at one point he's going to catch fire from that.
He had 21 against Duquesne, his 3rd straight 20-point game entering tonight. Here's Moreno. Moreno got that one. Oh, and it rolls off. I thought it was going to stay down. Took a bad roll on the backside of the rim.
Thought that one was down. I turned my head to you.
He had 3 green jerseys on him and still got a nice shot on that one. And
officials mop up the floor a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, and that's right where, close by where Dioubate slipped and fell and got called for the walk on the last Loyola possession.
It's going to give Moreno a chance to tie his shoe. So here's Adair back into the lineup as Coach Leffler huddles his team up.
I think it's important for Coach Leffler, and more importantly his team, obviously, to come out and not look at the scoreboard, but do what they can do, right? Play their game. Don't worry about getting back in the game. Play their game, get the right shots, don't take desperate shots, and they will get back in the game.
Commanders in the lineup along with Adair. Here's Adair against Moreno. And he used the little underhand to protect the shot and got it to go.
Still a tough one, though. Malachi Moreno making all things hard for Loyola and the Greyhounds in the low post.
Oweh rises and can't finish.
You
Bounced out on him.
You tell the kids, use the backboard. Use the backboard.
Commander the other way, tried to make that extra pass, and Aberdeen tried to steal it for the Wildcats. Couldn't save it. Let's go back and look at that shot by Adair.
Up, under, and a little scoop shot. I don't even know if you can call that a hook. It's not a hook shot, a little scoop shot.
Call it a scoop.
Had to get it somehow. You got to get around those big long arms of Malachi Moreno.
Got to get creative, right?
Yes.
Oweh comes up with a steal, 2-on-1. Oweh takes it himself and finishes with a thunderous slam.
Oweh slipping down in the baseline after the layup. Kentucky needs those steals too, especially from Oweh. That's what he's so good at, shooting that gap.
Springer launches and left it short. Aberdeen comes away with a rebound. Moreno looking for that lob, but it was covered up. Here's Chandler in the corner. Off the mark. Aberdeen with a rebound at the free throw line. No look to Chandler.
Great cut by Chandler. Again, coming off the missed shot. Instead of getting back on D, we found that Kentucky got the offensive rebound, and he just makes a cut, and here comes Cam Williams.
Look out!
As Kentucky, with this lead, 15 minutes left in this game, do they keep their foot on the gas? Because this is about the discipline. This is about what they are going to be come the end of the season. Are they going to learn a lesson tonight?
Adair off the rim. Here's Aberdeen. Got that one.
Yeah, everything Kentucky's done tonight just seems in control. Even the kind of frenetic pace the game started off with on defense for them, getting a lot of deflections, a lot of loose balls, and a lot of turnovers.
Speed puts it up and got it. And a timeout by the Greyhounds. Boy, the Kentucky Wildcats are flying high here tonight at Rupp Arena.
Oweh off the steal with the slam and the slip. Chandler with the great cut, and then Cam Williams coming up finally with this last steal and slam.
People have been talking about Colin Chandler's three-point shooting ability lately, and he's 3 of 5 tonight with a team-high 13 points. But that young man's got some hops. He can fly, too. Evidenced by, take a look at this dunk against Nichols.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I told people he cocked it down below his waist. Not quite. Still awfully impressive. And remember, last year at Big Blue Madness, his first year, Coach Pope's first year here, won the dunk contest by dunking the ball over Coach Pope and his wife, Leanne, which I felt was a little showy, but I think dunks are always showy.
He is 5 of 10 overall, as we mentioned, 3 triples in tonight's game. Out of the timeout for Kentucky, Johnson and Garrison have returned to the floor. Chandler's out there along with Oweh and Cam Williams.
Chandler comes in shooting 53% from the three-point line in this game and somehow has raised it tonight.
I was about to say, he's been working on
hasn't dropped it. He's raised it to 55.
Johnson with the lob, but he missed the target. Might have been deflected.
Stemke got a hand on it.
Commander. And Williams with the rebound. Williams to Johnson. Johnson will put it up. Chandler with the board. Back to Johnson. Thought about trying it again. From the logo this time. It popped away.
Sorry, it's a great job by Johnson that time. Just wasn't ready the first time to shoot the ball. Did better the second time.
Cam Williams stepped in front of a pass, but he'll be called for the foul going for the steal. And how about the job that Cam Williams has done tonight in his first start as a Wildcat? 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kentucky up big, 58-25 when we come back. Look at some of the headlines around the SEC. Alabama handing the conference a marquee win over number 8 Illinois up in Chicago. Arkansas had to survive a scare at home against Winthrop. That was a wild finish.
It became scary at the end. A few pushes, shoves, and punches thrown.
Missouri put up some big numbers at home in a win over South Dakota as we speed our way towards the Thanksgiving holiday and all the events that surround that. And Kentucky's got a pretty big schedule coming up too.
Absolutely ridiculous schedule for the Cats coming up. Gonzaga, North Carolina, Indiana. I think I'm even leaving somebody out.
There you see on your screen
North Carolina.
Yeah, non-conference slate coming up December 2nd, North Carolina, Gonzaga on the 5th.
And that's St. John's. Maybe something a little personal there for Coach Pope.
And Indiana at Rupp.
It's been a while since we've said that.
Theodosio with it.
Theodosia just can't get much room at all.
Speed. And Noah got the rebound and a push from behind on the Greyhounds.
Great job by Noah, though, to put his back on that player. Stemke kind of shove it in for the offensive rebound. Noah knew he was going to get hit, still put his body on the line, got the foul called.
Kentucky will play a game, by the way, against Tennessee Tech before that North Carolina matchup. So they'll get one more game to kind of continue growing and learning and developing, and then they'll step right back into that gauntlet of a non-conference slate.
And I like that gauntlet for Kentucky. I do. The harder schedule you play, you want the wins, but you want to learn from every game you can, and you learn more from those tough ones.
Garrison off the rebound, puts it up and in.
Garrison with 5 rebounds tonight as well.
Commander into the trees, back out to Stemke for the 3. No. Cam Williams with another board. He's got Noah left wing, quick trigger, got it!
I believe you said a little while ago they got to get Trent Noah a shot or 2.
And there it is, and now all 9 players have scored for the Wildcats.
7 rebounds from Cam Williams. Not sure that Kentucky expected that from him tonight, but they got it.
Noah in there battling Garrison for the rebound. BG wins that one. Here's Chandler baseline, he got shoved. Just another quick transition bucket here, Cameron.
And a great pass, a rebound by Cam Williams, and then a great one-handed pass. Find your player, your teammate, especially one like Trent Noah, has got the spot-up jumper.
Talk about being ready to shoot on the catch, too.
A lot of guys on that Kentucky team are doing that, but Trent Noah's the one. That is his game. Catch, shoot, catch, shoot. Sat here in this arena right here and watched him hit 9 threes in a high school game 2 years ago.
Jelavic is back in there as Chandler gets a breather. Here's Garrison. And the rebound controlled by Cicero. Sebastian Imanalo's in the game for the Greyhounds. Sertotis, top of the key, backs out. Imanalo from deep and hits.
That was a challenge shot by Imanalo as well.
Garrison trying to set up Johnson, but it was covered up. Noah wants another one, and he got it.
And that's why you want to get him going, because that was a challenge shot himself. Had a man close by him, he still had the confidence to take and shoot. Remember Colin Chandler talking to earlier, Maggie talking to him about how important confidence is when you take this court.
Kentucky now 10 of 20 from 3 as Cicero answers on the other end. 66-31. Looks like Loyola's gone back to the zone. Jelavic in the center. Sertotis blocked it. Jelavic looking for room to work. Johnson up top. Aberdeen over 2 and can't get it, but he draws the foul.
Aberdeen gave up about 3 feet of space in that area right there and still got the rebound.
It's raining threes here in Lexington tonight. Both teams connecting from outside, but Kentucky's made more. 10 of 21, Noah with a couple. With a lot of different lineups early on in the season, different rotations, 69 in all. And injuries have been a part of that storyline as Coach Pope continues to learn more about his team and get this group where they need to be for that gauntlet of a non-conference schedule coming up. But 43 have played less than 3 minutes in terms of these different rotations tonight. When you look at the 9 players that have played, none have been in there longer than 21 minutes as Aberdeen misses the free throw. The biggest thing was that one down at the very bottom of the graphic. The streak of the rotation involving Mo Dioubate ends tonight. He's out with an ankle injury.
Kentucky just can't get everybody healthy at the same time.
And I know you'll never hear the staff use the injuries as an excuse, but that doesn't help when you're trying to have a team learn about itself and learn what rotations work and win and that sort of thing.
True, but as we said earlier, what it does do is it gives those guys that would be not necessarily relegated to the bench but have relegated minutes, gives them starting opportunity, gives them 25-minute games, things that they wouldn't necessarily get with those other players not injured.
Everett Barnes, a freshman at the line. Foul was on Jelavic's first. .69", 240, a freshman out of Burlington, New Jersey. Garrison with a rebound. And Kentucky flying again. Here's Noah back to Aberdeen. Noah. Too strong that time.
Might have had too much time on that one. That's 7 rebounds for Garrison.
Cicero finds Adair in the corner to Theodosia. They have bottled him up tonight.
They have. Made it a frustrating offensive game for him.
9 on the shot clock. Adair from the right, no, and Noah bats the ball up and wins the battle for it against Cicero. Here's the lob to Jelavic and the putback.
Great look by Trent Noah. Jelavic did a great job of making sure Noah saw him too.
Barnes, Adair's open for a moment, takes the shot. Noah grabs another board as he goes high to claim it. Outlet to Aberdeen. Spins, twisting, and the right hand layup good.
A little low post move from the point guard, or the acting point guard, I should say.
And the Cats are up 40. Under 10 to play.
Kentucky's done a great job. Both units coming in, keeping their foot on the gas so far in this whole game, 30 full minutes of it.
Dioubate just forces one up and makes it.
And again, in the paint though. Forced, yes, but in the paint. Get those easy ones to fall. But he's gotten the ball in the paint. He's gotten those streaks with the ball in penetration, without the ball. Just couldn't get anything done once he's gotten in there until right there.
In the zone, Jelavic realized he was open and he strolls to the rim. You mentioned the paint. After that layup, Cameron, 40-8 is Kentucky's advantage inside tonight.
Well, and not only that layup, remember Coach Lefner mentioned earlier today, that's one area when Kentucky gets the ball right there, that is not an area that we're giving them space. You want to go up and give them, because they've got guys that can hit that. Jelavic not just hit that foul shot jumper, he took it right to the rack.
Dioubate had it rejected. Kentucky's got some numbers. Noah lobs to Aberdeen. It's in the air still, batted around, and it'll end up with the Greyhounds.
Coach Pope a little frustrated there, maybe a little too fanciness going on. This is where it's hard. You get up in a game like this, and it's so easy to lose your focus, and that is the key for Kentucky. They've not had their focus in some key games when it's been tight. A game like this, we've got to practice. 40 full minutes.
Oweh's back in the lineup, and when you look at the balance scoring from Kentucky tonight, leading by 40 as we approach the 8-minute mark in the second half. Oweh was the tone setter at the start of this game tonight.
On both ends of the court.
And the Wildcats needed to see that tonight out of Oweh. Here's Stemke. Missed everything. Williams with a rebound.
Cam Williams might come close to a double-double tonight.
Johnson with a nifty move. Got it. Count it. And one. Let's take a look and see how he did that.
Quick ball movement, a lot of athleticism.
With the 6'10" Sertotis bearing down on him.
And
got it to go.
hand.
Yeah. Wildcats are 1 for 4 at the free throw line in tonight's game, and number 2's down.
Coaches can always find those areas not to be happy about. And again, it's one Kentucky's got to be good at.
Only 7 combined free throws from these two teams tonight. Free throw attempts. Dioubate. Just nothing happening for him tonight, and Garrison with the rebound. Outlet to Aberdeen. And miscommunication. Aberdeen was cutting to the basket, and he was going to be wide open. 7:49 to go in this one. Kentucky leading 76-33. Celebrating 50 years of Rupp Arena. The Wildcats with an over 88% win percentage in this storied building. A great tradition, 14 unbeaten home seasons. Cameron Mills, you played a few games in this arena. What's your favorite memory if you have one?
I want to say 1986, Cedric Jenkins tipping the ball in at the last second to beat Louisville. Was up in section 223 with my dad. This place erupted.
Absolutely. Well, the Wildcats are up big, and let's check in with our sideline reporter, the third member of our team, Maggie Davis.
Well, you guys have talked a lot about the injuries on Kentucky's sideline, dealing with different lineups, and of course not having the expected point guard, Jalen Lowe. But Mark Pope told us this week, not having Lowe does not mean this team doesn't have a vocal leader. And with that being said, Lowe is still one of the guys talking in these huddles. Pope says it is communication by committee.
We saw some of that in practice yesterday and shoot around today. Lowe being very vocal as Commander tries to go around Chandler and has the ball knocked out from behind.
We talked about Malachi Moreno getting his first start today. Statistically, not a bad game, not a great game, except for one statistical category, and that is blocks. 4 block shots. I think I can remember every single one of them. Sertotis
hands off to Dioubate. Here's a straightaway shot, That one fell short, rebounded by Speed, rejected, but picked up by Stemke. Now the Greyhounds still in there fighting, and a nice pass, and it will lead to free throws for Sartotis. A nice pass there by Theodosio.
Good pass, especially as much as Theodosio is struggling, just for him to give that ball up even.
Saw
Great
his
pass.
teammate, little wrap around.
And not a bad foul by Cam Williams that time either. Don't want to give away the dunk, force him to hit foul shots.
Just the third foul on Kentucky. 32% free throw shooter. That one bounced around forever before falling in.
Seems like a crazy stat for Kentucky too. As active as they've been, only, what you say, 3 fouls?
Moreno replaces Garrison in the lineup for Kentucky. So really you have tonight's starting 5 in there, except Johnson in place of Aberdeen. Seven minutes left.
Well, in that zone.
Ooh. Some fancy moves there by Johnson. The lob to Moreno.
Great job by Jasper Johnson. Had, I think it was Theodosio, go for the steal, wrapped it around his back, got in the lane. Everything breaks down when that ball gets in the lane.
Tried to cut to Theodosio, and again Kentucky with a hand in the passing lane. Nothing comes easy for this Greyhounds team tonight.
And that time it was Oweh just not even knowing where the ball was, just putting his hand down where it might come, and it was.
Lob won't connect for the Greyhounds. Now they've got Chandler running the floor. Oh! Tried a little razzle-dazzle that time. On the run out, Speed for 3. No. Moreno with the rebound.
Colin probably be laughing at himself right now. Yep. Smile on his face.
Well, he has won a dunk contest, so you mentioned that a few minutes ago.
Looked like he was trying to win one right there.
Well, Sartotis got a piece of that one from Moreno.
Moreno wants it back too.
Oh.
Cam Williams
will go
that
to
is
the line.
his 10th rebound.
And if he's got an opportunity for a double-double in his first start.
Tips it to himself. Again, not necessarily the statistical category he came here to do well in. It's his three-point shooting that Kentucky wanted, and they're getting a starter tonight. It's gone up there. The stats say 9 rebounds. I thought I had him with 1 extra one. I think I got him for 10. Guess we got to go with the official stats.
Free throw's good for Williams. That'll give him 10 points.
So I got him for a double-double right now. But
he's also got 4 assists tonight. Noah's back in the lineup for the Wildcats, and it's Hosell changes a platoon sub rotation. Looks like Carter Berg McLean out of New Zealand checks in for the Greyhounds. A 6'4" freshman. 80-34. Kentucky has 3 in double figures. They've got 3 more with 9 points.
And here's that moment again, coming down to focus. Last 5:30 left in this game.
Well, Williams still defending hard.
And that's what it's got to be. There's no room for relaxing despite the score.
Adair. That one bricks away into the arms of Johnson, and we got a foul on the Greyhounds.
That's something you still see Moreno going up, challenging shots. Jasper Johnson, Cam Williams down, getting rebounds.
Kentucky's defense has held the Greyhounds without a field goal in 4.5 minutes.
And I think that's come more from just basic defense, not necessarily turning them over.
Yeah.
We talked about the rebounding statistic. It was close, 21-17, I believe, at a half. Wildcats have stretched that out to double digits lead on that one now.
Chandler off the left. And Noah runs down the rebound for the Cats. Williams, left side.
Big game for Cam Williams tonight.
Springer for 3, and the Air Force transfer can't get it to go. Rebounded by Berg McLean. Emanalo from the corner. Grabs his own miss. Right-hand floater, got it. And he'll go to the line.
Emanalo doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, it doesn't seem like, but he makes things happen when he gets in there. Very active.
Got it to go over Noah defending the shot.
Nobody draws charges anymore. When was the last time you saw a charge being called?
It's just the first foul on Noah.
That was the only way guys like me could play defense. Just standing there and letting someone run over you.
There's an art to that.
Yes, there is, and I mastered it. Fell down, slapped the floor, screamed. whether they ran over you or not. There's a little acting involved.
Obviously, it takes courage.
Little improv. Not a lot of courage, to be honest.
You got to sacrifice the body. You know the blow's coming.
Nah. Sometimes you just lay down before they actually hit you. Save your body a little bit.
It's an active zone by the Greyhounds this trip. The hands are up. That's one thing that Coach Leffler was preaching pregame. But what do you do with a 7-footer when he can just hold the ball over the zone?
That's what he said. Remember, this guy switching on to you is going to be 7'1" and a freshman. Yeah, another one we haven't talked about. Malachi, Brandon Garrison does a great job of this as well. Malachi just does it naturally. It seems like that ball does not come down as a big man. He keeps it up. And just as I said a few moments ago, Malachi not having a great game. He's almost in double digits for rebounds. Talked about his block shots.
6 points and 8 rebounds.
He could wind up with the double-double too. Got to make his foul shots though.
Did a nice job of that at Madison Square Garden. Here's Adair. And it's 82-39. Under 4 minutes to play.
See Malachi Moreno and Brandon Garrison at the same time.
Closed out on Noah in a hurry. You have to with that young man. Aberdeen. From the corner. Garrison goes high for the rebound, and it'll be a jump ball. Garrison was not to be denied on that rebound. Friday night in the SEC, taking a look at the action around the conference. Butler with a win over South Carolina. Florida at home taking care of business over Merrimack. They're up big. LSU, Texas A&M with a brand new coach. Number 21 Arkansas leading Jackson State 31-19, and Georgia Xavier coming up at 9 o'clock, less than 30 minutes from now over on ESPN2. Wildcats are up 82-39. Cameron Mills, what do you think about a little shoe game? What do you got on Denzel Aberdeen?
A lot in the news recently about what's the United States doing with all these pennies? They're collecting all these pennies. Well, here's the secret nobody's talking about. Denzel Aberdeen has been collecting these pennies for 12 years. 12 years to invest in that pair of shoes right there. 110% copper, made out of American pennies.
Those are fantastic. I love those shoes. You call that, what did you call it, antique gold?
Well, you called it vintage gold, which I like, but I think it's a little more brownish than the antique gold. As I said, my wife collects antique gold things. And to be clear, antique gold is not made out of gold, unfortunately, as I found out.
Those are fantastic shoes.
They really are.
That's one thing that's always fun to see the personality of the player come out in the shoes they wear.
You know, it's funny, you saying that. I agree, but as a has-been and an old man, it bothers me to no end that they're allowed to do that.
No, they don't wear the uniform.
That's not the uniform. That's not the uniform.
Shoes.
It's not the uniform. That's their personality. You just said it.
Come on, man.
Everything else matches.
He looks great in those.
I'm not saying I'm not being a crotchety old man. I'm just saying.
He's got 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in those tonight.
But think of what he could have done if he was wearing blue and white shoes.
Look.
Yeah. That's school spirit right there. Hey, if they're comfortable and they like them, then wear them.
That's right.
Like how Loyola is still playing tough. Still haven't given up.
trying to be big in that zone. Aberdeen gets into the lane, gets the shot, and he'll go to the line.
Go back to something Colin Chandler again said to Maggie. He talked about confidence. He was talking about for himself from his three-point shooting, but just it's games like this where you get and build confidence. Like, you've got to go into the tougher schedule that Kentucky is getting ready to launch, or well, really in the middle of. You've got to have the confidence in those games as well, but you can build them in games like this.
Aberdeen becomes the 4th Wildcat in double figures. Misses the free throw. He's got 11 points tonight on 5 of 7 shooting. Berg McLean, they work it inside. Barnes, tough shot over Moreno.
Cats almost have 4 players with double-digit rebounds. Say almost. We've got Aberdeen's got 7. Garrison with 10. Moreno with 8. Williams with 9.
Johnson baseline give to Moreno for the 2-hand flush.
Assist to Johnson.
Cicero picked up by Aberdeen in a hurry. Kentucky has been flying everywhere tonight. Berg McLean, count it.
Basket by Berg McLean.
Some of those areas too where just the penetration, Loyola, they're not getting anything when they're passing game. So again, one quick jab step, get in the lane. No, just a little late to recover, and kind of recovered in a way where Malachi couldn't get over there and get a good swipe at the ball either.
I was just about to say it looked like that the Greyhounds did a nice job of clearing the 7-footer out of there for him to drive it. Aberdeen with another rebound. That's his 8th. There you see the scoring tonight. Kentucky with a chance to have 6 in double figures, maybe 7. Moreno's a basket away. Johnson from the logo. Grabbed his own miss. And he finds Moreno, and there's another one in double figures.
Freshman to freshman.
Moreno up to 10 points to go with his 8 rebounds.
And 4 blocks.
Minker puts up the 3 into the arms of Garrison. 88-44. And now head coach Mark Pope begins to clear the bench. Garrison fires. Barnes with a rebound. Running the floor, and a nice layup there by Berg McLean. And we got a quick timeout for the subs. That's just to rotate in Walker, Horn, Zach Tao, and I think they're going to get Jelavic back in there.
Well, Kentucky responded the way they needed to coming off that disappointing loss up in New York.
Yeah.
And responded the right way, too. I mean, it's not just that it's a big score win, but from the get-go, the attitude, the way they carried themselves, the way they came out, Oweh especially on both ends of the court, playing Oweh basketball.
Moreno hands it off to Horn. Oh, the crowd wanted him to shoot that.
Horn typically plays the best
there
shooter.
There he is. Oh.
He typically gets to play the hot rod shooter of the scout team.
Johnson looking for him. There's the pass in the corner, and he stepped on the sideline.
No reason to call that.
Oh, the Boo Birds are up. Even the officials grinning on that one.
Doug Shaw's not making any friends in Rupp. Call him that.
1 minute left in the game.
Last minute here. Kentucky's on their way to a 4th win. 4-2 will be their record. The Greyhounds will be 2-5. And the Greyhounds nearly turned it over. 12 on the shot clock. Berg McLean gets Barnes free in the lane against Tao, right side.
Good body by Tao.
With a rebound. 30 seconds remaining. Horn into front court, lets it fly, in and out. 25 seconds remaining.
Like the way Walker Horn handles it. He's embracing the love of Rupp.
Manalo in the corner to Minker, and he stepped on the sideline.
And there's no such thing as a make-up call. Come on now. Come on now.
We're going to get one more chance here.
The same call, the opposite team, the opposite end of the court, the same area.
7 seconds. Here's Tao. Tao with 3 seconds. Put it up. No good.
Didn't know how much time he had left.
Well, the Kentucky Wildcats suffered a tough defeat at Michigan State earlier this week, but tonight it was all smiles and fun as they beat Loyola, Maryland 88-46. The Wildcats are now 12-2 following a loss the last 2 years. In just a few minutes, we'll catch up with Cam Williams, who got his first start with Kentucky tonight and put up some big numbers. Williams, 13 points. He had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, playing 26 minutes. Let's take a look at his work tonight, Cameron.
His work tonight, I mean, a lot of rebounds. He got some threes off early. That one at the end of the half, coming off the home run play. But again, a lot of things that Cam Williams can do, but he's not known for. Rebounding, penetration. Got a couple threes in, but just driving to the lane, kind of taking the start of Oweh and say, you know what, I'm going to do it too. Get those easy shots, those lead to long shots.
Maggie Davis out on the court, and she'll be joined by Cam Williams. She's with him now. Let's go to Maggie.
Cam, your first start as a Wildcat, finishes just 1 rebound shy of a double-double, and of course a big win. How does it feel?
It feels good. You know, Coach told me to be ready. He promoted me to starting lineup yesterday because Mo was hurt, and I just did what I had to do to help us win.
From a rebounding standpoint, what was working for you in that regard tonight?
I'm really just Santoro. He's always saying hit and go get when we're on defense. So all the rebounds just came to me, and I just had to go get them. I tried to get number 10, but I missed it. So I got to get the next game.
Well, you had 9 guys on this team finish in the scoring column. I know that means a lot to this team as a whole. Your coach says make plays for teammates. How did you do that tonight?
Really just try to share the ball as much as I can, get a rebound. Got to hit my shooters. Just playing as hard as I can to help us win, and I'm going to keep doing that the rest of the year.
What do you keep doing between now and the next game?
Yeah, recover and get back in the lab, get back in practice, got to work on our rebound. We could have did much better than we did tonight, so we just got to get back in practice and be ready to win the next one.
Yeah, thank you so much. Jasper, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, it's
Braden.
the fro. It's the fro. It's the fro.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Maggie, thanks so much. Cameron, Kentucky wins 88-46 over Loyola, Maryland. Did Kentucky do what they needed to tonight against the Greyhounds?
Not just against the Greyhounds. They needed this game. They needed to show that, you know what we saw against Michigan State, what we saw against Louisville, and what we saw against Georgetown, that's not who we are. Yeah, we can talk about the players that we don't have on the floor available. The coaches won't do that, though, nor do they need to, because they've got other players they can put in and get them valuable minutes. But tonight from the get-go, Oweh came out, 6 straight points right from the get-go, both ends active and getting the ball in the lane, not relying on three-point shots, and got the Cats going.
Kentucky tonight put 5 in double figures. Williams and Chandler with 13 apiece. The Wildcats roll 88-46 as they made 10 of 27 from distance and shot 49% for the game and held the Greyhounds to 29%. For all of us here at the SEC on ESPN, I'm Darren Hedrick. Thanks for listening. Have a good night, everybody.